friends, welcome back to my channel. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I'm really feeling good making these videos, and based on your suggestions hereafter I decided to make videos on planes and pilots together. History's biggest lesson is to never underestimate anyone, so today let's see how ace pilots with no respect and no opportunity became instant celebrities. This is the story of the World War II PZL plane and Polish pilots. PZL was a Polish fighter aircraft, designed and constructed during the early 1930s by Warsaw-based aircraft manufacturer PZL. Possessing an all-metal structure, metal covering, and high-mounted gull wing, it was considered to have briefly been the most advanced fighter aircraft of its kind in the world. It was the main fighter of the Polish Air Force between 1933 and 1935. PZL stands for Państwowe Zakłady Lotnicze. It's a state aviation works. The primary individual responsible for its development was Polish aeronautical engineer Zygmunt Pulaski, who has been attributed as having designed many of its innovative features. While the majority of the world's forces were still using biplanes, the PZL used a high-mounted and aerodynamically clean gull wing, which provided the pilot with a superior field of view. When it achieved first place at an international air competition held in Romania, the design generated interest around the world. Attention was such that the general layout became commonly known as the Polish wing or Pulaski wing. Powered by a 600 horsepower Skoda-built Bristol Mercury 9-cylinder radial engine, PZL would fly at the speed of 200 km per hour. Fighting on throughout the campaign, it destroyed about 120 German aircraft before Poland fell. When Germany invaded Poland on September 1, 1939, one of its key objectives was to annihilate the Polish Air Force. One reason the Luftwaffe failed to achieve that goal was the Polish Ministry of Defense's decision to order all warplanes relocated to privately owned fields, leaving behind only damaged, defective or otherwise non-operational planes to serve as decoys, thus sparing it from destruction on the first day of the German onslaught. However, due to a series of rapid advances in technological development in the field of aviation, the PZL was considered to have been rendered obsolete. It had been overtaken in terms of performance by a new generation of fighter aircraft that commonly benefited from features such as cantilever wings and retractable landing gear. Such fighters included the British Supermarine Spitfire and German Messerschmitt Bf 109. The Polish pilots were tired of being defeated by the Germans with Messerschmitt Bf 109 planes, as the Bf 109 planes were magnificent monsters. To know more about it, please check my other video about the power of Messerschmitt Bf 109 plane. Now the tired Polish pilots decided to fight along France and Britain to overcome their common enemy. But on their part, the British, all they knew about the Polish Air Force was that it had only lasted about 3 days against the Luftwaffe, and they had no reason to believe that they would shine any more brightly operating from England. They decided not to waste their expensive planes in hands of these Polish pilots. So not much opportunity were given to them. And Polish pilots would say, the British wasting so much of our time with their childish exercises. Meanwhile, for Britain the situation was becoming desperate. Over the course of the summer of 1940, many experienced British pilots were killed, wounded or simply exhausted. There were not enough trained pilots and there was insufficient time to train those available for combat. As the Poles, from the very beginning, had shown their eagerness to fight, the RAF's attitude towards them became more accommodating. 2 Anglo-Polish agreements were signed, one on 11th of June and one on August 5, 1940, which formed the independent Polish Air Force. Once the agreements were in force, the first task was to get the Polish pilots trained on a completely new type of aircraft. The Poles had to be taught practically everything from scratch, including how to measure speed in miles instead of kilometers, and fuel in gallons instead of liters. They had to learn to push the throttle forward to accelerate, not backwards as it was said in Polish aircraft. Another problem for them was flying aircraft with retractable landing gears. Many pilots landed with the wheel still up. Pilot officer Władysław Rosicki expressed how difficult the training procedure could be. In his own words he said, "This day, a very sorry, and unpleasant thing happened to me. I have damaged a machine, for the first time in my 11 years of flying. It's even more painful, as it happened on foreign soil." Hence, language lessons became a top priority as most of the Polish pilots did not know a single word of English. Communication between British and Polish officers had to be carried out in French. The RAF also came up with a way to teach the newcomers British tactics. Pilots were ordered to ride tricycles, all equipped with radio, speed indicators and compasses, around airfields in flying formations. It soon became clear to the British that the Poles were extremely skilled pilots. In July 1940 the first Polish fighter pilots joined RAF squadrons. A total of 145 experienced and battle-hardened Polish airmen fought in the Battle of Britain, 79 airmen in various RAF squadrons. On 13th of August, Hermann Göring launched the Luftwaffe's all-out air assault on Britain. This day was called Eagle Day. It was the first day of the Germans' operation. For the next few months, the RAF and the Luftwaffe would engage in a series of intense air battles. As the Germans sought to destroy RAF Fighter Command and secure control of the skies over England. But now the Polish pilots in RAF squadrons played a substantial part in all operations against the Luftwaffe, in increasing numbers. One of the finest examples of their work was a remarkable feat accomplished by Sergeant Antoni Glaodzki, who on 24th of August claimed 5 enemy bombers, which were shot down in 3 combat sorties, over one day. He was one of only 3 pilots who achieved ace in a day status. In the following weeks, the squadron achieved a truly astonishing score of shooting down 126 enemy planes, as well as 13 probables and 9 damaged, claiming the title of the best scoring unit of the Battle of Britain. One of their extraordinary feats was shooting down 14 enemy planes, plus 4 probables, in one sortie over London, without even a single loss on their side. Polish pilots serving in all RAF squadrons achieved a remarkable score of 203.5 destroyed, 35 probables and 36 damaged. Polish fighter pilots became instant celebrities with all classes of British society. International journalists flocked to airfields to write about their exploits. Waiters refused to take payments for their meals in restaurants. Bar owners paid for their drinks and bus conductors allowed them free journeys. Quentin Reynolds, one of the war's most well-known American war correspondents, dubbed Polish airmen the real glamour boys of England in Collier's Weekly, an apt reflection of the hero worship attitude the British had towards Poles. After the Battle of Britain, the Polish Air Force continued to serve alongside the RAF until the last day of the war. I believe I have covered most of the important details about this plane and its pilots. What is more important, plane or pilots? I would say, pilots are the winners, as pilots can be trained in any plane and excel like these Polish pilots, whereas, a plane is just a machine. Even the most advanced plane in hands of dumb pilots will lose the battle. Hope you will agree with me. If not, you can share your opinion in comments. We'll see you again in another video. If you find this video informative, please hit a like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me and encourage me to create more interesting content like this for you. Thank you friends, have a good day.